Alliance is doing here with their heroes. Pugna Grimstroke is really, really strong in the mid game before BKBs come out. So, and usually heroes like TA or Monkey King buy at least one item before they get BKB. So if Alliance has great positioning, if they're clockwork hook shots, disjoint some of the chain stuns or the nice team fight that Hellbear Smashers want to do, they have great solutions. I mean, just putting like a cogs between Centaur, who's initiating, and everybody else on his team is really beneficial to make sure that those heroes can't fall upon your disable. So Alliance has some really good tools here to deal with the enemy draft.
Now, do you agree with what Kyle's saying on the desk? I know that's a tricky thing to answer because I know a lot of us...
my brain turns off when Kyle starts talking. What did he say?
So he said that he would prefer actually, with Stormstormer here on the TA, not to go for that Blink Dagger super early on.
I mean, it sounds like a cool idea in theory, but I don't play TA, so it's like one of those questions where I'm like, yeah, okay, I could theory craft that and it sounds good, but in practice, it probably has some major issues. Like TA is pretty vulnerable if she gets caught, for example. So having a Blink Dagger sometimes is like the best way to get in cleanly, get a kill, and then get out. If you have to walk in first, it can be really dangerous. I mean, it would help them like hit towers earlier, I guess, because Monkey King can sometimes struggle with that a little bit, but I don't see why you wouldn't just itemize Monkey King for the towers and allow TA to be ready to blink initiate personally. But maybe there's some value in what Kyle said. I just haven't played the hero enough to justify that. But considering I see every TA by Blink Dagger, I have to assume that would be a poor decision for some reasons.
Okay, that's fair enough. I know like the big thing he was concerned about was mostly the fact that you do have this clockwork, right? He's going to be trying to disrupt these fights as much as possible, and having, you know, something later on like that Dragonlance into the Hurricane Pike could be very, very value.
Yeah, I could absolutely see it be like some kind of a mid-game item, depending if they don't need nullifiers too badly or if Stormstormer is being pressured too much. Absolutely, that could be a reasonable thing to go Dragonlance, even with Blink Dagger at some point into potential Hurricane Pike. But I haven't seen too many Hurricane Pikes for a while now. Even with like the prevalence of like Drow Ranger being played by Dragonlance, they don't go for the full Hurricane Pike usually. It just feels like it's not. I don't know. It's still pretty expensive. For what it gives, even though it did get buffed recently, arguably with the 4-staff change, it gives you more health than it used to. It actually gives you, like, what is this, 500 health Hurricane Pike gives you. It's pretty beefy item right now due to the 4-staff change, but people still don't buy it. So it just seems like damage or other items are more important.
Fair enough. So it feels like right now, the side on Hellbear Smashers, they want to play Doto very quickly. They want to try to take advantage of the snowball effect if they can get it online. But on the flip side of that, got some really nice options here coming out from the side of Alliance, right? You've got Limp playing the Pugna, and he's going to be able to, you know, we talk about the double Decrepify, which is super, super nice, the double suck, as T was also mentioning. And then, of course, you've got Nico Baby, who's a beast at farming. So this guy, you know, eventually he's just going to plop himself over in that triangle region, most likely. Can the Hellbear Smashers, are they going to be able to disrupt these farming patterns and whatnot?
They can for sure. I mean, if they win the lanes, it's gonna be a lot easier to be aggressive. Pugna playing from behind doesn't feel the greatest, but he usually lanes quite well, so it's difficult for that to happen. And yeah, he could be ganked, but we're talking about a Warlock who's not gonna gank very often, maybe once or twice tops. And Lion can gank, but isn't the most durable or the best at initiating, so you can deal with him if you spot his rotations or have good wards. So I don't really see Pugna necessarily getting behind. Medusa should pretty safely farm. Mars should do okay, but has some issues potentially against Monkey King. So I guess that's the lane to watch maybe, is how well the Monkey King is able to do against S4 on the Mars. If they can win that lane abnormally hard, if they can get some good tower pressure, maybe with rotating heroes and that kind of thing, it can be really good. Is that balanced? I believe that's how he said it. Is that the correct voice inflection?
I believe that sounds like the correct inflection.
We've all heard that. We've all watched that video many times.
Have indeed. All of these different fun voice lines and sprays that are getting dumped everywhere here.
30 seconds.
I, for one, have been enjoyed spamming Suns fan all over my map.
Yeah, the graphics are cool. I mean, it's very different, right? Because it's not all the graphics are top tier, but these Alliance ones are really good.
They're really nice, yeah. I think Wogies, I believe, is the person who went and designed these. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. But
they're really good.
Yeah, they definitely put time and effort into them. Although, you know, I'm a fan of the Hellbear Smashers, the little stick figure guy that they have during the draft, you know? Somebody had to make that too.
Oh, what are your friends? I haven't seen. Oh, I see on their flags. Yeah, wow. I could have made that, guys. Ooh.
That's it, guys. Fine. Purge is now offering. He's going to be offering up his services here to design sprays. Hit him up, Purge Gamers.
I, too, can design terrible graphics for Tier 1 teams.
Hey, how dare you say that? That is a great graphic. I enjoy the little Hellbear that they drew. It's not quite, you know, the level of Alliance here, obviously. Those are very nicely done. But, all right, we've got that mid lane matched up here. Creeps coming in, pretty much even. And so it begins.
Oh, he goes for Blast, not Decrep level 1. Opting to pressure TA a bit more, I suppose. Oh, is he going to get the courier? He does. Oh, he missed!
Oh, no!
That's really unfortunate. He was so close to the top of the hill, but he must have counted as lower, and as a result, he missed. Really big bummer there.
God, imagine how much that would change around this lane if he was able to get the snipe on the courier this early.
It wouldn't like massively change things, but it's obviously a really big deal. At least it's not. I don't know. Like it's okay. It would have been. It's a little bit of gold, but he got his magic stick at least. It would have hurt my regen later for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like the fact that, you know, trying to go for the bottle or whatnot and not being able to just call it to yourself easily. It's in the bottom lane. Rasmus is poking away over here, Nico baby, but Gilgear on the back line. FNG is really just poking here. Can they finish him off? That's a question. The creep wave will try to use the tree, tries to salve up. Can they turn this back around? They should be able to. Yes, FNG will fall. And Gilgear sits on very little health.
I mean, that was such good harass on Gilgear initially, and I thought he was dead by turning back to the right, but the south play absolutely worked out. They get enough right clicks in and a first blood. Really good for them. Gets split, I suppose. So, but they both get decent gold there. Not bad.
And that's more harass that they can place over on the Medusa as well, knowing that you don't have that pesky clock poking around the back lines.
He's back already. Not that big of a deal. Ace on the top lane doing a great job dodging nukes so far from Grimstroke. They're just going to spam out this wave. Tofu healing Ace and Fatal Bonding entire creep waves and them. If they stay low, then they're going to have to play even more carefully here. Out of worry of going for kills, but they've got a decent amount of regen still. Just gonna be a pain to pick it up eventually. It seems like Stormstormer is not going to go for a bottle this game. I'm not super surprised because from what I've seen, TAs do spend a lot of time jungling in the mid game, especially if they are like the mid laning stage. You know, like they'll like jump into the jungle and they'll take a camp pretty commonly, and that's one of the things that just means that they don't really need as much HP regen because they're not constantly in lane. They have cleave on creep waves anyway, so just like little dip ins here to grab water runes is already going to be more than enough. So I think it's not that like this is why it's not that big of a deal if this courier got sniped. But most other heroes, absolutely. You don't want to delay that bottle.
Just know the value of having all of these runes available now if you're able to, you know, fill up a bottle and whatnot. In the bottom lane, though, FNG, he's tanking a lot of this damage again. Rasmus, can they finish it off? They do. He's just having a good time over there. My goodness. Has to be careful, though. Nico Babies shouldn't be able to finish him off as in the top lane. S4, oh, he misses the spear. So Ace going to be fine. Just going to heal right back up again and could potentially poke away here at S4.
Not bad. Yeah, that'll cost them. There's still a... Oh, no, there's no Salpanskin running back to base. That's going to keep them on a lane for a bit here. Tofu will take some damage, though. He's got to be a little careful about a stun, but no, he's not going to commit for it. So this will all be fine. TA has 23 last hits right now. So Stormstormer is doing really good. But there's probably some small camps inflating him a little bit. If we look at the network total, they're actually dead even. So we'll just ignore the CS total for those two guys. Rasmus still low, but he's about to get his Ring of Health, so looks like all the lanes are pretty stabilized for everybody.
Yeah, I don't imagine that we're going to be seeing a lot of movement early on. Probably not until we see level 6s, most likely here, considering the playmaking heroes that we have on board for both sides. And of course, for Stormstormer, probably not going to see much rotation until he gets that first item, or if he gets a particularly nice rune.
Exactly, yeah. You just don't see TAs rotate that often. You just farm so quickly because you effectively have a Battle Fury or whatever. It's 100% cleave damage. Keep in mind, Battle Fury just got nerfed down to like 40% cleave. So why gank when you could just jungle super fast and get ahead? Unless your team really needs it, but that's more of like a draft issue or stabilizing lanes that have lost more than they should, that kind of a thing. So if he can just play his game and get his normal high tempo farm acceleration thing, then it'll be fine.
Now, it feels like this top lane is going pretty well for the Hellbear Smashers, and I believe that is one of the requirements necessary for the side of Hellbears to, you know, get that tempo going.
Yeah, but and while Mars is a little bit behind, it's the same for Centaur on both sides. So that's like a really even game right now. The Vanguard timing will certainly help for Centaur. That's one thing that's really good for Hellbears. Once they get that, they can't really pressure him well with Medusa. While she does have snake damage, you know, right click is definitely some of that. So having Vanguard to protect yourself from that's going to open up Gilgear and give him space to move across the map as well.
But is this also a situation where, you know, the Monkey King should be able to make some moves around the map earlier, whereas Nico Baby is going to want to plop himself over in one of those areas and just continue to farm up?
It's basically the same for both. Oh, we're going to see it'll go on Medusa bottom. Oh, no, just a Hex alone. Never mind.
Purge, you getting
It's
me?
all
You-
fine.
Look at you.
Hey,
You liar.
Hey, look. Pro players do not waste spells. You almost always. That was clearly a miscommunication or a misread, or they saw clockwork when they weren't expecting. That's all. That's all.
Purge coming
So-
for my job, Bunkus.
What I was saying before, though, is that Centaur and Monkey wanted to play the same way. They want to stay in the lane and continue getting last hits while preventing the opponent from getting as much farm there. So I don't really expect to see them do that many rotations.
Fair enough here. Yeah, pace the game pretty slow for the time being. Just gonna be seeing each of these heroes working on their next big item. Do see a bit of the stacks coming out here. Stormer, again, being able to use those side blades always feels pretty good when you're able to use the jungle to your advantage.
Boy, is it. And that's going to give him still about the same net worth as the Pugna, actually. And now some mid-pressure. Hanskin rotates over with the catapult. Really nice move here. While Mars is fine. Little damage on TA.
Bit of a slow, but they have a rotation here from Tofu. Gonna try to push them back. Fatal bonds are applied. And they'll turn right back around again and just start life draining away. Oof. That damage. But they defend their tower for now.
Yeah, that's worth it. They've got Salve. He can heal back up. Stormer pressured again. Honestly, Refraction does pretty good against Life Drain, surprisingly. It really blocks the first couple seconds.
FNG is just bullying Gilger here. In fact, he gets himself a solo kill.
Nicely done. He does have boots on Lion. No, just got caught, I guess. The Observer Ward probably spotting him out and letting FNG get that grab, and now Rasmus in trouble, maybe?
I mean, they've been poking each other back and forth for a while now. The battery assault coming out here from FNG.
Oh, it gets
We'll
him?
go grab him up in the cogs. There's a rotation here from Hanskin as well. They should be able to get themselves a nice kill. Hanskin will take down Rasmus, and Gilgert will teleport back in, but does need to be very careful.
That one was really lucky. That battery assault caught Centaur when there's like 3 melee creeps right there. And I think he only had like 1 or 2 chances for battery assault to hit. The fact that it hit him let him get close enough to do cogs, and that's what guaranteed the kill. I thought it was lost, personally. I was like, oh, he got there like a fraction of a second too late, but he ends up getting the kill as a result. So that's what a great minute for FNG there, getting 2 kills.
Definitely feels pretty value here. Couple stacks again, like we talked about, is going to be very important for both sides. Stormer is just forced away, though, here on the side.
Putting the pressure on him.
Oh, we got level 6 online, too, for S4 as well. Surprised if we see some sort of plays coming out soon from the Mars.
I mean, the same thing keeps happening. He approaches the creep wave, he gets decrep drained. I almost wonder if he'd be better if he'd go somewhere else at this time, but the reality is that if he leaves, then Pugna's just going to take his tower really quickly here.
Yeah, Stormer can't do a whole heck of a lot. Get the D ward off here in the mid lane, and just Nether Blast after Nether Blast. As we also take down the Psionic Traps as well on the side of Alliance. So yeah, I mean, either way, I think you lose this tower pretty quickly. You're up against a Pugna, right?
Yeah, there's not that much you can do.
Stormer?
Oh, Stormer.
Oh, Hanskin and FNG have found themselves a TA, but they will be able to get the kill on FNG. So Hanskin now having to be very, very careful. He's going to get the little trap pop, followed up with the Earth Spike, and Tofu will collect the kill.
Not terrible. I thought that was really looking bad for Stormer, but good choice for him. Just turn around and go for that kill. Grab some nice neutral items as well. The Sentry is going to block his Ancient spot, but it's not the end of the world for him considering he got some kills out of it. So small gold advantage now for Hellbear Smashers. I think this has probably been Mars sacrificing a little bit. Not too bad, actually. He's doing fine. 500 net worth behind Ace. So despite what seems like Grimstroke just being mid for the entirety of the mid game here, Alliance is still doing good. I mean, they got the mid tower. All their heroes still have good farm. And they got the... I mean, that's decent for him. I think it looks fine. Alliance is in a good spot.
And the pressure's on here in the top lane. Limp is making his own rotation. They just want to take down all these towers and start to make the jungle feel a little bit claustrophobic here for Hellbear Smashers.
If they do that, it's going to be easier to invade against TA or anybody else. There's Stampede bottom.
Stampede down in the bottom. Gilger's here along with the Monkey King. They're looking to blow up Nico Baby. They're going to be able to. The follow-up, though, here from Limp. Have the Decrepify. They go. They use the Life Drain, and they're doing a decent amount of damage. As Rasmus just ticking down over to the side. They do manage to get the kill on to FNG. Nico Baby goes down, but they lose Ace. and they're gonna end up losing Gilgear.
I mean, they lost out a bit, but Limp gets a double kill, which is really good for him. But I think that was okay, honestly. Killing the Medusa for that's going to slow down their farm speed. I mean, that was like a, what, 500 net worth disadvantage from losing that fight. That felt okay to me for Hellbear Smashers. I really like that early rotation. The ulti pop, we don't really see that feel very good early, but that was one of the best early game Monkey King ultimates I've ever seen in my whole life. So just unfortunate his stun was on cooldown, so he didn't get to stun the life drain right away. But that was all right. Kill Medusa, slow her down, limit her farm speed, because you don't want her to get to the ultra late game. And in the meantime, TA's farming. And giving Pugna a little gold advantage doesn't matter that bad. Oh,
the arena, the spear to the wall, and of course the life drain. That's a dead Rasmus. Stormstormer is rotating down with Gilgear. Meeting the hookshot though coming in from FNG, cogging up. That's another kill going over to Lip. And looks like we'll probably lose FNG here because they are not happy about this on the side of the Smashers, but they do have to be careful. Hanskin making his way over here. Again, that Decrepify over on the TA. There's not much that she can do against us at this time. Gonna clear up the creep wave, and they're gonna keep on pressuring the tower.
Limp is doing a great job showing us how good this last pick Pugna was. He just decrep life drains everybody, and they can't do anything. Look at this. Here it is again.
Again, and they do have the Inkswell on top of it. They just have to close the gap over onto Ace. They'll stun him. Oh, a little bit of a whiff spear here coming out from S4. So they go use the Stampede. Stormstormer chasing after S4. Got the tree dance over on the side here for the monkey as he leaps back down again. It's just going to try to take down the Pugna ward. Another shot coming out. They'll go. They'll drop the chaotic offering. They've had enough of Limp, for God's sakes. On the back line, though, Hanskin does get left behind. And S4 is trying to wait patiently. Will try to push this golem away. Oh, the stun, though, coming out. The spear,
the spear
is able to save Limp. He's still alive, but not for much longer. Eventually, he will fall to Tofu.
Dude, that was really cool from Ace. The stun into Primal Spring. I'm pretty sure it's going to kill Pugna because he was decrept as well, but that spear prevented it from connecting. That was really cool. But either way, that golem felt like rage to me as well, did it? Like, it was like spite. Like, stop draining us, please.
Yeah,
God, turn that off.
Enough.
But it worked out, actually. They get a big fight. They finally take away the killing spree on Limp. It goes to Tofu. Congrats to him for his new 400 gold. And that's kind of what they need, though. He's going for a fast 4-staff. If he gets a 4-staff, that's the hard counter to the life drain, guys. Getting people away from Pugna is clearly the only way they can stop the damn thing.
Yeah, there's a couple solutions here. You know, you've got that to help with the life drain. You've got that to help with the cogs. It's really a very valuable item in this particular game against this Alliance draft. But plus is going on. You can see that smoke is coming out here for the side of the Hellbear Smashers. Now, we do have a Blink Dagger picked up now for the Mars. So positioning is going to be a big deal here.
Absolutely. If they can catch Warlock or Lion or basically anybody but Centaur, it looks good.
I like this. I like this movement. They know that this Medusa is going to want to be hanging out in the jungle here, so they're protecting her. They smoke up around the area, and they're on the hunt.
All right, let's see how the smoke breaks here. Hanskin's going to place a ward. They're going to see right away. This could reveal that there's a smoke.
Hook shot. Immediately over onto the TA. They'll pin her to the wall, and they just need enough damage. The Hex does buy a bit more time, but eventually they will kill Stormstormer as Limp sitting on the very far back line gets the kill onto Gilgear. Double soul by double silence coming out here as well as they'll try to burst them down. Can they do it in time? Oh, the stun coming up from Ace, though, will be able to keep the Warlock alive. Rasmus looking, oh, good shield bash, though, again, coming out here as they just can't seem to get their hands on the side of Alliance right now, even with this Warlock slow coming out from Tofu.
Those upheaval levels really paying off here. He's got 2 points right now, and that's the only reason that they're having some success in disengaging, because these fights just look almost impossible for the Smashers to take. If they jump on TA like that, they almost saved them. The healing ward came out, but the cog push did a little bit too much damage and guaranteed his death. So things looking good for Alliance. They're getting the pressure on the map. Medusa's still hitting creeps, finally catching up a bit. Before that fight started, Medusa's net worth was not very close to TA's, but now it's looking pretty good. So Alliance is chipping away at the small lead that Hellbear Smashers had.
I think the other thing is, oh gosh, she even has the Manta completed now for the Medusa, is just the idea that, you know, Nico Baby, he's going to farm so incredibly fast. This is a hero that, you know, just like we said, sits over in the triangle area, just hits creeps, has the split shot. And the Smashers have not been able to really challenge it past that one time in the lane in the bottom.
Mm-hmm. it's difficult to get on top of her and get that kill. They have some lockdown, obviously, between Lion, but the Monkey King and the TA are a little redundant in what they do in terms of them just doing physical damage. The Pugna kind of counters that already. So, like, if any of these fights happen and they just decrep the Dusa, I think it's impossible for her to die. There's literally not enough damage that can burst her. So it's really difficult for Hellbear Smashers to take these engagements.
You know, you got to give credit to Stormstormer. He is farming quite well. But it definitely, you know, it always feels like whenever we say, this draft is on the clock, well, not the clockwork, obviously, but, you know, the timing within the game, it's always feels a bit sweaty, I guess, is a good way to put it.
Yeah, you got to be careful. And Alliance got their opponents. Great ward to have.
We do have...
notice them retreating.
Yeah, we've got the blink, though, online here for the Centaur. So that's going to be a little bit more lockdown, perhaps. You know, like the panel said, ooh, the hook shot not connecting. Look at how fast they just back off as for even popping that haste rune. But, you know, the one thing that they said is that this draft coming out from Hellbear Smashers, they don't necessarily want to take a 5v5, right? They're looking for small skirmishes. They're looking for these pickoffs.
This is a pretty good time for them to potentially roach. With hookshot being down, Clockwork's not going to be able to be as obnoxious.
They scan immediately. Look at this.
Is it going to be fast enough, though? We'll see. It's a lot of physical damage.
I mean, they don't have the Dusa. Nico Baby's all the way back at base. He teleported home, so I'm not sure. Do they still try this?
They can't even hook in to steal it. It's just done.
It belongs to the side of the Hellbears.
All right, can they get a pick off? They're going to grab S4. At least he's got blink, though.
Does have the blink. He's got someone nearby, though. Immediately saying, all right, they fight up with this arena. The soulbind comes out. The finger came out, but it wasn't enough damage as they split it off to the side. They do manage to go and drop down. They get the kill over onto Hanskin. On the back lines, S4, he survived a little bit longer, but he is going to eventually fall. But that is, again, the Aegis getting taken off of the TA.
All right, they're going to look for some more kills if they can get them. A lot of cooldowns. They should have hookshot now, though.
They have the Deuce nearby now, too.
A great fight for them, though. All started from the missed hook shot. I think it was blind when he threw the hook shot. I believe their smoke broke, so he thought somebody was standing on that cliff is what happened. And because of that, they get Aegis. That trap was able to catch S4. He did not blink in time. He could have blinked after it triggered, but he didn't get it off in time. That forces him to use a less than ideal ulti. And then a great initiation from the TA as well. They burn Aegis for it, which is a great kill, but still 2 kills, and they got the tier 1 tower. That's excellent for the Smashers, but they're going to have to keep more tempo. This is not by any means the end of the world for them.
Limp would like to go and just remove Rasmus here as FNG with the hook shot will ensure that is a dead Rasmus, but they do have to be on the run now. Ace up into the trees. They're dropping some of the traps. S4 is nearby. They'll stun over here onto the Clockwork. S4 waiting patiently here. Are they going to be able to keep it alive? No, but they should be able to put a little bit of damage over here to this TA. It's the rest of the side of the Smashers getting into position. Again, it feels like they're just continuously buying this time here for the Dusa. Smashers having to be very, very active right now, but the problem is they don't have creeps. They don't have, you know, they win this battle, and then what's their objective that they take, Purge?
In this case, it's not as good, obviously, but they've gotten objectives on the Smashers the last 2 fights at least. So even if they buy a little time, right now it's okay for the Smashers because they're hitting a big timing soon. Once they get BKBs on the Monkey King and the TA, then Pugna just doesn't matter anymore. Pugna is going to have to start playing really defensive instead, and he's queuing up a Octarine 4.
Nice spear over to the side here. They even go, they drop the arena just to ensure that they get the kill on Stormstormer. And Limp is hunting. Hook shot coming in again from FNG. The push back immediately. This is just going to be a dead Warlock, although he had the force. He's trying so hard, but the stroke of fate coming in from Hanskin will ensure that Tofu falls.
Very greedy in some ways. He de-warded his Observer Ward. He knew his opponents were going to regain control there, but by de-warding it, they spotted him in time. They get him with the hook shot. He dies. So he saved them from getting experience from his ward, but then he dies himself. I mean, his ulti wasn't up for 25, so it's not like they're going to fight. Roche isn't there either, so not the end of the world, but just a little bit defensive for Hellbear Smashers. They just need to finish their BKBs, and then fighting is going to be so much easier for them. Mars is going to feel less. Pugna's going to feel massively less. And their right-click heroes can do what they want at that point, outside of, like, Stone Gaze and Clock.
How did Ace's courier die?
Good question. May have clicked it in the wrong place.
I guess.
That's how it always dies for me. I'll like try to send it to myself, but I right-click the ground before reselecting my hero, and then it might be somewhere weird and ends up dying. That's my guess. He didn't lose any BKB parts, though, but...
I've been told sometimes the couriers like to make some weird detours in the middle lane, too. Gotta be.
Like when they're walking?
No, like just traveling through. Sometimes they bug out, actually. That's happened a couple times.
Okay.
But positioning here around the top tier 2 here for the side of Alliance, and you can see they're just doing some mirroring action currently on the side of Hellbears.
Best thing to do while they're buying time, for sure.
FNG is teleporting, though. Figure they've got this tower in the bag, and they're looking to probably try to fight them off of the building down here. Yeah, the smoke comes out. FNG trying to get into position. Does see Stormer. Be careful. The teleports are coming out. Hookshot in again. Immediately over to the TA. Going to Cog. Throw right off the side. They go and they drop the chaotic offering. But look at this damage. The Soulbind comes out again. Looking to just spear him over. And they're going to be able to go. They take it down. Follow up here over on Gilgear. Who's next to fall. Ace the Stone Gaze. And the Sake just holding them into place. The split shot comes out. Oh my goodness. Ace goes down. Rasmus goes down too. And now Tofu is trying to hide in the corner. But you can't run from S4. It's a triple kill.
FNG punishes them so often in this game. He's been playing so good.
This clock is so value. Oh my gosh.
They see it coming. They hook shot the TA consistently, and he can't blink afterwards, especially with the Ink Soul. He got refraction off. He might have been able to blink out otherwise. The healing ward, the nether ward is down. The Mars ulti comes out. If they just have BKBs, this fight is completely different. BKB comes out on TA. Clockwork instantly dies. Yeah, maybe he's a little bit pressured, but they can actually stand and fight. Instead, they just get outmaneuvered. They thought that they could split there and get the tier 2 in time, but they didn't even get to half HP. And they again take a huge fight disadvantage before they hit their BKB timing. And this just buys more time for Medusa to hit her late game.
And steal your stacks.
Yep.
That feels very bad for Hellbear Smashers right now. Working on the Scotty next as the item for the Dusa. Limp his positioning has also been very, very good throughout this being, oh dear, oh Tofu, he just stepped out of his base. He just wanted to put down a ward, guys, over on the back line. So they find Ace. They're gonna try to hold him into place here. They're stunning up S4, trying to keep him in place, but they just lose Ace immediately. He takes one step out. S4 even going for the arena. He would like this kill over on Tofu, and by God, he will find it.
They are punishing the Smashers so hard. These like last 2 to 3 team fights that just went a little bad for the BKB buyers. It's just completely messed up their whole game. It feels so difficult for them to play now because they haven't finished their BKBs, and thus the net worth advantage for Alliance is just too close. So Medusa now gets the death ball. She sits in front. Pugna sits behind. They get to do their decrypt combo still for the next fight, and it's just getting worse and worse for them.
How do you push these guys off of your buildings right now is the question. You can see that, you know, the Hellbear Smashers, they realize they can't do anything currently. They just try to push out the other lanes, and Alliance is just going to walk right away very easily. Probably
they're playing really
creeps a little long, and
they have a really big goal today. They want to get their first 2-0 of the season, so they don't want to lose any games that are won. And right now, this game looks really, really good. So they just have to play a little safe. I love the Halberd on Mars as well. He doesn't really need BKB that badly this game, so being able to disarm TA as they go in is a massive advantage. So they're just going to farm the enemy tri-camp. That's going to force Smashers to spread out in areas that are less efficient as the tri-camp, and they'll just look for a pick-off, take another tower, or take the racks.
Game firmly in Alliance's hand right now, as they just methodically are sweeping across the map. And again, FNG, okay, the 4-step comes out. They will end up leaving Gilgear behind, though. This is looking like a very dead lion as they get the Soulbind off, too. Spear over onto the side. The double suck coming out. They'll go and they'll drop that golem on the back lines. But look at Nico, baby. He's just chasing them down one by one, taking down Tofu. He'd like to take down Rasmus, too, but isn't going to be able to get his hands on them.
And now they're so far ahead, FNG just needs to initiate on any hero, and his team's going to be able to follow up. So gets the hook shot again. They've got Solar Crest. They're not slowing down. They're going high ground here.
I mean, this has just been the FNG show, honestly. The way that he's gone in with the cogs, the way he's grabbed people, held them in place for Limp to go get the drain.
I mean, everybody's been playing really good, but FNG's definitely been there at all the fights. That's what it feels like. 17 of the 21 kills. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
It's Limp as well. Limp has been at 18 of the 21 kills, so both these guys playing excellent. Solid laning stage, good tower pressure, not getting picked off. And with the golem used there, it's looking rough for the Smashers. They've got their BKBs done at this point, at least, but now their net worth advantage doesn't look as good. They're not just going to instantly blow up supports and maybe be able to pick off somebody else. It's still going to come down to initiations, obviously. If they get hookshotted and then they BKB, it's not going to feel as good. But if Smashers can initiate first, could be a very different world. But It just also hurts that Gilgir had to go force this game because of the clock. He doesn't have Blink. That means their initiation feels more difficult. It's a tougher game. He did buy Shard, though. That'll be pretty good against Clockwork. Make yourself magic immune.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, but if they can get a grab.
And be able to take down some of those illusions too was always pretty nice. But again, this has come down to who gets to jump on who, because that's the problem, is that Hellbear Smashers, they don't want to take these long, drawn-out engagements, because Nico Baby just super happy to sit in the middle of everything. And look at this, the hook shot again from FNG with the Inksflow, just immediately pushing off to the side here on the Centaur. Stormstormer jumping on the other line, but they have the Stone Gaze here. They've got the Mystic Snake as they just chew up people on the back line. They take down Tobu, they take down Razzus, Gilgir, and now they're soulbound up over here. Stormstormer and Ace in this terrible-looking, just three-legged race as Nico Baby chases down 8. They really want to get the kill over here onto Limp, and they're not going to be able to because it just gets frozen here into place. That's another kill here, and the G's get dropped.
I mean, it was time, basically. They needed to hit this BKB timing against their opponents like a couple minutes ago, 4 or 5 minutes ago, without giving them team fight advantage wins. And they just didn't hit the timing. And the reason that fight started the way it did, I just saw the sentry was slightly too far to the right. It didn't spot that observer ward that was the far left of that cliff.